here to the public that we are now beginning to surpass a level where people think that the solution to the problems in the public in affecting our communities, politicians, that if politicians have not spoken, there will be no solution for that problem. So we are trying to create a mindset change, that there are avenues we can be able to transition our communities without the voice of leaders, without the voice of political leaders. We ourselves can create solutions, and that's why we have begun with our clan model systems. We have the clan leaders as a cultural institution is part of our structures. You as a cultural leader, what are you doing to solve some of the problems through your mobilization? It begins from the clan leaders, it comes to the district councillors, it comes to the district chairpersons, it comes to the cabinet ministers of the institution, and then we play the role of advocacy to government that these are the problems affecting our people. And we also negotiate with the government on how best we can be able to solve the problems affecting our people in our communities. And most of these problems are resonating with the agenda of government. We know that government is working day and night to to tackle the challenges, economic transformation, education, health. So we as the community stakeholders play a key role to a greater extent to support government to make sure that most of these goals are achievable. And that is why you see now, as a cultural institution, we are no longer thinking about fights. We are now focusing on putting Iteso where it should have been by now. So we are no longer talking about where Iteso was supposed to be. We are now walking a talk, and that is why you see we are now saying, what do we need to do for our people? We have counted a number of challenges. One of them is education. Iteso is one of the areas where people think that the best school in the country should not come from. Iteso is one of the regions where people think that the worst performing school in this country must come out of Iteso. So we are trying to say no, a full stop to that. And as a cultural institution, we are engaging our people, we are engaging different partners, development partners. We are trying to talk to government and engage government. And we want to thank the government for its response and strengthening this cultural institution. That is why you see, today as we speak, we are here to tell the public about some of the things that we have done, because most people would have been asking, what is Ichu doing? I have always encountered those questions. But we have this, what is Ichu doing? We saw through the strong voice of the institution 2 weeks back, His Royal Highness had a one-on-one engagement with His Excellency, the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who has now unlocked the opportunities in Soroti Flying School, which some of the leaders took decades. You know how old that flying school is, and Iteso has never had a share. When that institution, a vibrant institution, is seated on our land. Now we can proudly say we have secured 5 slots from Soroti Flying School at every intake, whether engineering, flight engineering, pilots, and so many other jobs, which are being distilled from there. That is one of the things that we said, this is where we were supposed to be by now. Imagine if it was 2 decades back when that system was activated. We would now be celebrating 80 pilots. We would be celebrating 80 flight engineers. So we have woken up and said we can use our voice, we can have engagements to see that most of the challenges facing our community, opportunities and so on, can be resolved through the united voice of the cultural institution. So I would also like to inform the public that we have had several diplomatic engagements. And as we speak, the Zulu Kingdom of South Africa is now having a partnership with the Iteso Cultural Institution focusing on development, nothing but the development. We shall now see education opportunities unlocked in South Africa, and we want to see the people of Iteso, our children of Iteso, going to study in the Johannesburg University on scholarships through this kind of engagements. We have just opened the one with Aditya University in India, where we are now going to see that we have medical students coming out of Iteso, being passed out from India, especially in medicine, to see that we have the powerful doctors who can be able to support Dr. Podoi, Dr. Dakun, Dr. Kiria, count them, those who are now aging out from Iteso. We are also trying to see that we can now emphasize on producing the civilized citizens. It begins from grooming the younger people. That's why the Akaliait Development Foundation comes in. The Akaliait Development Foundation is an entity which is going to be within Iteso Cultural Union and patroned, headed by Toto Akaliait as a founder, to see to it that this issue of early marriages, which is currently hitting Iteso. In 2011, we saw a youngest mother coming out of Iteso. I was touched when I was covering a story with World Vision, a 12-year girl being operated in Soroti Regional Referral Hospital. So we have seen that I think our community needs mentorship of the young girls. So Akaliait Development Foundation will basically focus on mentoring the young girl and grooming them with cultural values. And when we stick to the cultural values as the people of Iteso, you will realize our cultural values deter the young girls from getting married earlier. We used to keep virgin girls, and somebody would marry a girl, a woman when she's still a virgin. We can still have it done in our community, and we have started it with the Akadef. So Akaliait Development Foundation will also focus on strengthening the building up the economic strength of the women from families. That is why you see, we want to see better families as we focus on fighting the gender-based violence. And to fight the gender-based violence begins from a family that can be able to sustain itself economically. When a mother is able to provide to support the father, we believe that we can be able to curb the gender-based violence. So many families are in pain, are getting broken, are tearing apart, and it is affecting even the economic growth of the region. It is even affecting government from fulfilling its development agenda. Why? Instead of focusing on getting up in the morning to go and look for money in the market, a woman is crying because she was beaten yesterday. So we have said to support the government in fighting the gender-based violence. It is one of the components that can be found in Akaliait Development Foundation. Engaging women to be resourceful people who can sustain the economy of this country. It is part of the component now in the Iteso Cultural Union, and it has the component of guidance and counseling. Those families which are getting broken, those ones which are unstable, we are also building up a counseling department within the institution that can be able to sit them down. These are some of the cases which should have not reached the police, which should have not reached the court. But in most cases, they ask, what has the cultural institution done so far? We have created a solution. An Akaliait Development Foundation will focus on that. And by so doing, we believe we would have achieved one of our development goals of ensuring a civilized community which is economically sustainable. Now, we have just come out of another engagement that very soon we shall be able to call for one of the biggest press conferences, unveiling some of the partnership projects that we are working towards as a cultural institution. I want to assure the public that as a cultural institution, we are not sleeping day and night. We are working so hard, and within the 3 years' time that Papa, His Royal Highness, Papa Mormor has spent, just 3 years, we have done what we should have done in the 12 years. We have covered what we should have covered in the 12 years. And for those who will be able to attend the coronation anniversary, we shall be able to unveil some of the achievements. As we speak right now, the public should know that over 200 of the children of Iteso have joined different universities, different tertiary institutions, different nursing schools to do different courses through the lobby of the Iteso Cultural Union. And we are not sleeping. We are working so hard to see that education is key, health is key, economic transformation is key. I urge the public. Last time, Papa Eriak was talking about education run. I want to tell the public that this is a pinnacle. This is the Kickstarter. And we ask the public to join us, especially in this run. Because in this run, we are just planting a seed that we are supposed to be mentoring, that we are going to groom and see that it bears the fruits in a short run, by the way, not in a long run. That is why you see this run focuses on supporting a Mormor education fund that is going to be launched on the D-Day. In Bukedea, this year it is dedicated, when you look at the theme of the coronation anniversary, the 3rd coronation anniversary, it talks about educating a girl and a boy child. That is the background at which we have decided to say, let's start with the resource mobilization towards this pocket. So that by the day we are launching, we have something already to start from. And we are mobilizing resources. If you know that you need to support education, let me tell you, we have seen the girls who lose parents at a tender age. The children are very bright from school, but they end up dropping out. We have said, first of all, no to school dropout, and to build on it, actually, the key solution will be education, a Mormor education fund. And this run here, we expect it to be miraculous. We want to send a voice, a strong voice, out to the public that this run will speak volumes if we support it. If we come on board and own it as a community, that much as you know that solving a problem begins by acting, by involving. Let's involve ourselves and see that we all take part in this Mormor fund. I thank you very much.